So our first topic is getting to this Anthony Mackie story because he had to clarify some stuff. Apparently, people got all pissed off about him for someone to, in regards to this film. First of all, I already got my tickets to this Brave New World movie, even though, there hasn't really been any reviews on it yet, but I know like because of the overall reshoots, and they were saying that they've spent a lot of money on it, but from what I heard, they didn't really spend whole lot of money on it. I think they spent like 150 million, but I guess that would still be considered a lot to be making, this type of film. But nevertheless, you know what? I'm going to go with support it because I'm a Captain America fan. I want to see Anthony Mackie win, even though Anthony Mackie is like a really good actor, I really do not see him as someone who is a movie star, like someone who is, can stand out and carry a film. He's good at supporting and all that stuff, but we'll watch the movie and we'll see if he can actually, carry a film on his own. Even though we got Red Hulk and we got other characters that'll be making an appearance. So Deadline is revealing some tea in regards of, he was apparently promoting the film in Rome. And he basically said that America was not a term that Captain America represented. Because I guess, some people, y'all just be too on the damn nose in regards to what y'all think that Captain America represents America. And it's like, no, he represents, I guess if we take a page out of Superman, true justice in the American way. Like he's all about, and then again, if you say the American way, then it's all about America, right? And I think that a lot of times the problem, which of course we have going on in our politics right now, America seems to think that we're the only country in the world that's better than everybody else. And I'll be looking at certain countries, I'm like, well, damn, you want to know something? So a lot of these countries got better off than us. Their rent is not as expensive, but their buildings look awesome. Like they get a whole lot for very little. The food isn't expensive. Like I got friends who live in Spain that tell me that it's inexpensive, but they got nice places. The food isn't as expensive. They have medical insurance. They're not even paying for it. So people are living a lot more relaxed, healthier, longer lives. Whereas we all out here fighting each other, stressed out, while we got oligarchs out here just taking everything. But America's supposed to be the greatest country in the world, right? So anyway, he basically was just saying like, yeah, he's about more than that. He's about being honor, it's about honor and integrity and that sort of thing. So here's what he actually said. He said, to me, Captain America represents a lot of different things that I don't think the term America should be one of those representations. He said, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable, which is all the things that Steve Rogers was when we watched him for over the many superhero movies, the many Captain America and Avengers films that he was a part of. It was about a person who embodies a certain characteristic about themselves and upholds the best standards of what it's like to be a human being. It's not about representing a place, not representing only America, because he went against the government, who we found out was run by Hydra, which if you kind of look at it, there's a lot of similarities into the political thriller aspect of Captain America that kind of resonates in our country's policies. So, the development of the comic book films and everything else, it kind of resonates and it's a lot of what is it, life imitating art type of situation. But I think so many people are just so damn dense that they don't see it. So yeah, apparently people got upset by what he was saying, and I guess they were probably trying to accuse him of being anti-American, which I don't think that's what he was doing. He was basically saying like it's about who Captain America represents as a person, he's a superhero and he has these superhuman powers and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, who he represents is why people resonate so much with him. Because when we had Civil War, Captain America Civil War, I was team Captain America. I was not team Tony Stark. And a lot of like the belief system and what he was going for. So when they had us like choosing sides, I was very much team Captain America because I believe and I wholeheartedly agree in a lot of the characteristics that he was embodying playing that person, which is, yes, he is about honor, dignity, and integrity. And if you don't have honor, dignity, integrity, and people can keep you at your word and you don't just say one thing but do something completely different. Like, why would you even want to represent or be represented by somebody who embodies the negative characteristics, somebody who lies to you, someone who will sit up in your face and tell you, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, this, and this for you, and then they betray you? Like, who wants to be around dishonest people? I don't, but it seems like the people that are all for that, their voices seem to be a lot louder in a lot of these situations. So yeah, this was his tweet, basically, well, his Instagram's post that he did, or it might have been a story. So he said, "Let me be clear about this. I'm a proud American, and taking the shield of a hero like Cap is the honor of a lifetime. I have the utmost respect for those who serve and have served our country. Cap has universal characteristics that people all over the world can relate to." And that's what another thing too. I think that when people hear Captain America, I just can't believe that we're sitting here having a conversation about this, and people are just so stupid that they don't realize, like, Captain America, yeah, he represents America. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's a universal character. Because if it was just Captain America, then if you took the movie to China, if you took the movie to all these other places around the world, they would not have related to the film, and the films would have flopped at the box office. So why do y'all sit and think that everything only is specifically to you? That's not how things work. So um, I didn't take offense to what Anthony Mackie said, and I don't understand why people are taking offense to what he said. But I feel like that, you know what, we're in a time now where people just want to be angry and upset about every minute little thing that someone says, and we can't even have a conversation without people was respectfully disagreeing with what other people say without people taking it personal or wanting to fight or do something. So um I think with people, we need to also take it back to a time where, Mackie basically in 2016, he discussed the importance of having Black superheroes because, when people make these arguments about what, I don't know, there's been conversations in regards to, like, I was having a conversation with a friend about the Rogue situation that was like, Kiki Palmer could play her. And then somebody got mad, was like, no, well, then if that's the case, we need to have Sydney Sweeney play Storm. And it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you have someone who was deliberately made as a Black character? You want to change it up to white because a character that you've known all your life as white in a comic or wherever else can't be changed. Their race can't be changed. And who says that they can't? Because certain characters, if their race and their culture isn't embedded in who they are, then you can pretty much play around with different characters and change up their characteristics. But if a character is deliberately made to represent a certain group of people, it's like, yeah, they're there for a reason. So, and maybe this is a time where we need to rejudge back to 2016 on what Maggie said. And he said, I think we live in a day and age now where little Black kids feel they can't connect to a character who doesn't look like them, or little girls feel like they can't connect to a character who's a guy because they're just different. Everybody's so personal nowadays. It's not so much about connecting to an emotion or an idea. It's more so connecting about someone who looks like you. And yeah, and when we were growing up, that's what we had to deal with because there wasn't a lot of diversity in comic book film. Well, comic book films pretty much were trash until like X-Men. Like once we got around to X-Men, that's when the comic book movies, well, I would say Blade. Blade was the kickoff. But then we had X-Men, and that's when we started seeing like, okay, there's a little, I mean, there was a couple of bad apples in between there too. But for the most part, we started to see the pendulum swing where the comic book movies started getting taken seriously and they were better. But yeah, so we had to deal with it just being, you know, an emotion or an idea. Now it's like kids want to see, and not just kids, but people in general, they just want to see someone that represents who they are and looks like them on the screen. And then you get these freaking trolls that want to talk woke this and woke that. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe you don't get it because you've never had to encounter or deal with not having people that look like you on the screen, especially if you're someone who's white. White people walk out the door and don't have to have a care in the world about anybody representing them on a screen or whatever, because you've had that y'all entire lives. You've always been, y'all can walk out the door and just be told you could be mid, but Greatness doesn't have to be aspired to because you're told you're great out your mama's coochie. The minute y'all come out, a lot of us have to strive to get bigger and better opportunities and to strive for bigger and better things. So when we don't get those, when we get that little bit of representation, we're just happy to get what we got. So I just don't understand why people, start the whole woke thing and all the other mess. But anyway, I feel like I'm starting to get off the topic a little bit when it kind of links with the topic. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to what Anthony Mackie said? I think it's much ado about nothing. I don't know why people getting all their panties in a bunch over this. I don't think he said anything remotely bad because I don't think that Captain America is only a representation of America. He's not something who represents a place. He's not somebody who just, well, oh yeah, I'm just here to represent America. Kind of like when they had that big government UN situation where, T'Challa and T'Chaka had to go represent, you know, Wakanda. That's not what that is. Captain America don't walk in the room and be like, yeah, I'm here to represent America. Like, no, he is someone who fights for the common person. He is the one who does the right thing when he's told to do the government. When you're working for the government and they're telling you to do one thing, it's like, no, but that's not what I'm going to sit up in here and do. I'm here to do the right thing, not what you political whatever want to use me as a little pawn in whatever scheme y'all got going on. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.